This is going to be the tutorial that's going to show you how to make this scale and shell bag. And what you're going to need for this tutorial is 2 different colors. You're going to need worsted weight yarn, 4 ply for the US, 10 ply for Australia. Get 2 skeins of the color you plan on using for the crocodile scale, because it takes a lot of yarn to do that. And you only need 1 skein of this color. So 2 for the crocodile stitch, 1 for the shells. You're also going to need a tapestry needle because you're going to need it to sew on the button. And of course you're going to also need a button. And you're going to need 4 stitch markers. I'm just going to use 4 pieces of string for my markers this time. And you're also going to need a 5mm hook or a size H hook. And that's it. So grab those things and we'll get started. Also, the bottom of this bag measures 33 centimeters or 13 inches wide, but it does narrow as it goes up. Okay, to begin, you want to chain 43. I'm going to do a lot less because I'm not making a whole bag on camera. So what you want to do is go ahead and chain 43, and when you get done with your chain, make sure that it's not too loose or too tight. And when you get done with that, I'll show you what you need to do. Okay, once you have your chain of 43, for round 1, you want to skip the first chain, and then the second chain you want to put a single crochet. And out of the 3 little sections that you have in a chain, so you have a top, a bottom, and a middle. I don't know if you can see it on my screen, but you can definitely see it on your own project. Top and a bottom and a middle. I'm only going to be going through this top loop because we're going to be using the other 2 in a moment. So it's important just to go through that top loop only and do a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. And you're going to continue to work 1 single crochet. Ugh, not holding my yarn right, I don't think. 1 single crochet down your chain. And when you get to the end of your row, make sure that you count and that you should have 42 stitches. Okay, now you have a single crochet row of 42. Now you want to turn your work, because we're going to be working on the bottom stitches of the single crochets. Move this tail out of my way here. And now you're going to put in the same last stitch here, you're going to be putting another single crochet. And then you're going to work going under both loops to do another single crochet. Let me get a little closer in case you can't see. See, now you have the other 2, 1, 2, going to be going under both of those, pulling up a loop, and then doing your single crochet. Whoops, my loop here on my hook is a little small. Big. Then go on the next 2. If you can find your single crochet here, you can just go into the hole right underneath it and do a single crochet. But you had 42 stitches here, and on this side you should also have 42 stitches. So all the way around, a total of stitches you should have is 84. Okay, when you get to the last stitch of your round, you should notice that this side is already starting to curl up, because that's the idea. That is what you want. On this side, we went into our last stitch, and we're about to start, we went to our last stitch here, and we're about to start in our very first one again. So I'm going to go ahead and do my first stitch, then I'm going to mark it so that I know that it'll be my first stitch of the row. We're going to be doing single crochets all the way around again. So go into this very first stitch, do a single crochet, and then I'm going to place a marker here. I'm going to grab the loops of the stitch here, just so I know this is my first stitch. Now we're starting our round 2 of single crochets, and we're going to be doing rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5. So four more rows of just single crochet all the way around for a total of 5 rows. Now you just single crocheted in this stitch. Make sure that you pay attention where you just single crocheted, and then go to the next stitch. Put your next one, and then continue around for 4 more rows of just doing 1 single crochet each stitch all the way around. Always make sure that you count your stitches and that you continue to have 84 stitches all the way around. So as you can see here, after 5 rounds, you can really notice that the bottom of the bag is forming. Now at the end of round 5, you want to slip stitch in the beginning stitch to end your round. Let me back up just a little. Okay, I want to make sure I stay in the screen. Okay, so for round 6, I have I only did 4 rounds, by the way. Yours will be just a little bit bigger. So for round 6, you want to do a chain of 3. Then you're going to skip 1 stitch, and then in the next stitch you want to work 2 double crochets within the same stitch. So I'm going to skip this stitch, and in this stitch I'm going to work 2 double crochets. Then you'll want to chain 1. This chain 3, by the way, counts as your first double crochet in your first chain 1. So you do 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then again you're going to skip a stitch. You're always going to be skipping 1 stitch, and then in your next stitch you're going to be putting 1 double crochet, and then chain 1. Skip a stitch, and in the next you're going to put 2 double crochets and chain 1. You're going to alter this pattern over and over again. So we just did 2 double crochets, so we'll need to skip 1, and then the next we'll put 1 double crochet and chain 1. Skip a stitch, and in the next stitch we'll put 2 double crochets and chain 1. And you'll continue this all the way around, doing 2 double crochets, chain 1, skip a stitch, 1 double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch. Continue this all the way around until you get back up to your beginning stitch. Okay. Then we're ready to start working our crocodile stitches. We want to go right into using these 2 double crochets right here. We're going to be working 5 double crochets on this post, which will take us down. And then we're going to work 5 double crochets up this post. So just go ahead and grab up that first post. And you're going to be working a double crochet, so you want to yarn over first. Then go through that first post, grab it up. Then turn your work, because it's so much easier to work your double crochets down this post if it's like going the way you crochet anyway. So I'm going to work 5 double crochets on the post. Whoops. Be careful not to get that other double crochet, because you only want to work on 1. And count how many you got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? I got my 5. Yes, 5. Okay. So now this is the other out of the 2 double crochets worked in the same stitch. This is the other one right here. So like I said, we worked down. Now we want to work back up here. So when we were doing the 5 double crochets, we were holding it like this. Now it's best just to flip it over. Find that post like this, and then now yarn over and start working on that post going this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you got 5 worked on each of those posts, and now we've come to our single post here, and all you want to do is go in through this top stitch. Just going through the stitches normal and do a slip stitch. That will anchor down the crocodile stitch. And you can see here, those were our 2 double crochets. 5 double crochets worked down, and then we just turned it. 5 double crochets worked this way. It's like the bottom of the bag, how you worked all your stitches here, and then you just flipped it over and then worked on the other side of the stitches. That's exactly what you do with the crocodile stitch. You work this way, then you just turn and work this way. But you're going to be working on 2 different double crochets. So there you go again. You have 2 here. So you're going to start your double crochets on the very first one. So you'll yarn over and you'll start working. I work my very first double crochet onto it just like I'm doing a front post double crochet, and then I'll just turn it, and then it's just easier to work my other 4 double crochets onto it. It's 3, 4, and 5, and then again flip it over, and you can see this is where you worked your 5 double crochets. The other double crochet is like right beside it. It's within the same stitch, so it's hard to lose if you just follow into the same stitch. Then grab a hold of it, start working your double crochets back up. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And again, slip stitch in your double crochet to anchor that crocodile stitch. And then again, you'll continue that all the way around, working your crocodile stitch and then anchoring it on your single one. So continue that all the way around, and I'll see you when you get done with the end of the row. Okay, when you get to the end of your round, you want to go ahead and slip stitch in this beginning chain 3. Okay, for round 7, you want to chain 2, which will count as a double crochet. Within that same stitch where you slip stitched into, which is the chain 2 from last round, you'll want to go into that same stitch and put a double crochet. Then chain 1. And now working in this stitch in between your crocodile stitches, you want to put your double crochet, chain 1. And then again in the, you can open up these shells here, you can see your double crochet stitch here. You're going to want to work 2 double crochets into that double crochet. I know there's a slip stitch in there, but I'm working into the double crochet stitch itself, which is the same stitch you slip stitch in last time. So you do your 2 double crochets and chain 1, and then again work your 1 single double crochet and chain 1 in that stitch in between the crocodiles. Then you'll do it again in this double crochet, work 2 double crochets and chain 1, then 1 double crochet, chain 1, then again 2 double crochets and chain 1. You're doing exactly what you did before. You're prepping your round basically, because you're going to be working your crocodile stitches again on the double ones and then slip stitching into your singles, but you want to offset your shells. So that's why you're going to be doing the double ones here in the single double crochet here, and then you'll be working your 1 where the crocodile stitches are. That way they're offset. So again, continue to put 2 double crochets, chain 1, worked in your double crochets, and then in the stitch in between the crocodile scales, you'll do a double crochet, chain 1. So continue that all the way around, and I'll see you when you get done. Again, at the end of round 7, when you've come to your very last double crochet here, and then this is your double, so you have a single double crochet and then you have 2 double crochets, which is your chain 2 and your double crochet you worked in your very first stitch. Again, after the very last stitch of your row, after this double crochet, you don't need to chain 1, because when you slip stitch in the top of this beginning chain 2, it will count as your chain 1. Okay, to begin round 8, we'll chain 1, and then we're going to again work our 5 double crochets on this chain 2, on the post of the chain 2. So we'll grab that up, work our first double crochet on it just to make it easier to mark it, and then turn, grab up that chain, and then work your other 4 double crochets on the post of your chain 2. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then again, just flip it over, and you can see this is your first double crochet here, and this is where you want to grab up and work your 5 double crochets on that guy as well. 3, 4, and 5. And again, you're going to want to slip stitch in your single double crochets here. And then again, you got your 2 double crochets here. Grab up that first post, work your double crochet on it, and then yarn over and start working the rest of your 5. Or I should say the rest of your 4, for a total of 5. 2, 3, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so turn it, grab up this next post. I know it's difficult to do the crocodile stitch at first, but it only takes practice. Just practice, practice, practice. It's the only way you can get better at it. It's the only way you can get better at anything. Then slip stitch in that double crochet to anchor it, and you can see they're kind of offset. You want to continue to do this all the way around. Okay, after you finish your last crocodile stitch and you anchor it in the last double crochet of the round, then that's just counted as the last stitch of the round. Now for rounds 10 through 15, which will give you 4 more rows of crocodile stitch scales, you want to repeat the last 4 rows, 6 through 9. So like for instance this one, like you began your very first row here, which was round 6, you'll want to do the same thing for round 10. You'll chain 2 to begin, and then you'll go right back into that same stitch and do a double crochet, because remember you want your 2 stitches to be in here, because chain 1 by the way, because then you'll put your single double crochet in between the scales, then you'll chain 1, and now you'll have it offset again. The next one again, where it has 1 double crochet here, you'll put your 2 double crochets and chain 1 inside your double crochet. And then wherever you have your crocodile stitch shell, you'll put 1 double crochet and chain 1. You'll continue that pattern all the way around, and then the end of the round you'll slip stitch in the beginning, chain 2, and then you'll only do chain 3 to start round 11, and then you'll continue again to repeat those 2 rows until you have a total of 4 rows of crocodile stitch scales. Now the total that I am going to do is 6, but in these last few you're going to have to kind of do a decrease. So go ahead and do your total of 4 rows, and then I'll show you how I did these last 2 rows. Just wanted to remind you, at the end of round 10 you want to slip stitch in the beginning of the chain 2, and then you'll chain 1, and then you'll start working your crocodile stitches up and then down and then up again, and then anchoring it here. Okay, for the purposes of this tutorial I'm just going to pretend I did my total of 4 rows of crocodile stitches, and each crocodile stitch, remember, contains 2 rows, the primer row and then of course the row where you do your stitches. So that's why I say repeat 6, 7, 8, and 9, because 6, 7, 8, and 9 are going to be 2 rows, basically 2 rows of crocodile stitches. So rows 10 through 15 should give you a total of 4 more rows, or I should say 2 more rows, total of 4 scales. So for your next 2 rows of scales, so you'll have a total of 6. For round 16, it's going to be done almost the same as before, except you won't be doing a chain in between on this primer row. So you'll want to do a chain 2, and then you'll go in and do your double crochet as normal to begin this round, but you won't chain 1 in between. You'll go right into the next stitch and do your double crochet, and then don't chain 1 after that either. Then you'll go into your next double crochet and work your 2 double crochets, and don't chain 1, just go right into your next, and then don't chain 1. So you're just going to be doing exactly what you did before, only difference is you're not going to be chaining 1 in between. You're just going to go and do your 2 double crochets, then your 1 double crochet, and then your 2 double crochets. This is going to make it start to decrease a little bit and make it smaller. So you want to go ahead and do that for this row and work your next row, round 17, work your crocodile stitches as normal. And then you'll do the same thing to the next row as well. But I'll see you when you get back here to that row. Okay, I just got done with round 17. Now I just wanted to do a recap for those I might have lost before. So remember I showed you on camera how to do these 2 rows, which consist of 2 rows of each. So this was 6 and 7, this first crocodile stitch, because there's a primer row and then there's a crocodile stitch row. So this is basically 6 and 7, 8 and 9. And I wanted you to repeat that again, those 4 rows, so that you'd have a total of 4 rows of crocodile stitch. And then for your 5th row of crocodile stitch, your primer row, I wanted you to do it, but instead of doing 2 double crochets chain 1, 1 double crochet chain 1 like you did for the last 6 rows, or 8 rows, 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah, 8 rows. Don't chain in between on that primer row. So what you would do is just put your crocodile stitches exactly like you did these other rows. There's no difference in those. And then again, you should now have 5 rows of crocodile stitches. Now we need to do 1 more row of crocodile stitches, so we're going to need to do 2 more rows. The primer row, and then of course the crocodile stitch row. So like we did to prime this one, we're going to be doing it again for round 18. So for round 18, you should have ended round 17 again on the very last double crochet of the round. Just makes it easier. Again, you'll want to chain 2 and double crochet right back into that same stitch. And then again, don't chain 1, just go right into the next crocodile stitch and do a double crochet, and don't chain 1. Then again, go back into the next double crochet 2, and don't chain 1. And you're going to continue this all the way around. And again, this is going to cause it to get a little bit smaller. It's mainly for the rows of shells that we're going to be doing soon. So anyway, you're going to continue to do this exactly like you did round 16, where the primer row you won't put any chains in between, and then you're going to work round 19 as normal. Just put your work your crocodile stitches and slip stitch and the double crochets just like you did before, and that will be your total of 6 rows of crocodile stitches. Okay, so you finished round 19 and you should have 6 rows of crocodile stitch. So for round 20, you want to change colors. I'm not going to change colors for the purposes of this tutorial, so you go ahead and change colors. And once you're ready, you want to chain 1, and then you want to single crochet in the same stitch and put 2 single crochets in that same stitch. And then you want to put a single crochet here in the middle of the crocodile stitches, and then again in the double crochet, you want to work 2 single crochets, and then again 1 single crochet in between the crocodile stitches. And you want to repeat this until you have 3 crocodile stitches left at the end of your row. So continue until you've got 3 crocodile stitches left, and I'll tell you what you need to do. Okay, I have 3 crocodile stitches left. I just did my double single crochets and the double crochet before the last 3. Now for the last 3, you just want to put 1 single crochet, and then in the double crochet in between put 1, I'm saying double crochet, single crochet. Only put 1 single crochet, then put 1 single crochet in the next crocodile stitch, and then a double crochet again, put 1 single crochet, and then 1 single crochet in the last crocodile stitch. And that brings us back up to our 2 double single crochets. Now for round 20, I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch in this beginning single crochet. Okay, now for round 20, you'll want to chain 1 and single crochet in the same stitch. And you're going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. You should, at the end of this round, and already, have 60 stitches. So continue to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Count your stitches, make sure you have 60, and I'll be right back. Okay, at the end of the round, you want to slip stitch in your beginning single crochet. Now for round 21, we're going to be getting our shell stitch now. You want to chain 2, and in the same stitch, you want to work 4 double crochets. This chain 2 counts as 1 double crochet, so at the end you'll have 5 total stitches. So you want to put 4 double crochets, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you want to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and in this third you want to put a single crochet. Then again you want to skip 2, 1, 2, and in this third you'll want to work 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then again you'll skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and in the third you'll put a single crochet. Then you'll repeat this for the round. Skip 2, and in the third put 5 double crochets. 3, 4, and 5. And again skip 2, and in the third put a single crochet. Skip 2 and then put 5 double crochets. Continue this for the round. Okay, so come to the end of my row, and for some reason I have 3 here instead of my normal 2 that I'm supposed to have. So for my very last stitch here, I'm going to skip 2, then I'm going to go ahead and do a single crochet decrease. Oh, sorry, I had to sneeze there. Because you want to end with skipping 2 and then slip stitching in the beginning chain 2. I'm going to keep that pattern all the way around. So for round 22, you're going to chain 1 and you're going to find that middle single crochet, which is here. So you'll skip 2, but in the very first one it's actually a skip 1. And you'll find that middle of the 5 single crochets, double crochets of your shell, and you'll put a single crochet in the top of it. And then in your single crochets here, you'll work 5 double crochets for your shell. 3, 4, and 5. And then again, find that center double crochet. You'll skip 2, 1, 2, and in this third, which is the top center of the shell, you'll put your single crochet. And then in your single crochets, you'll work your shell of 5 double crochets. And then again, the center of the 5 double crochets here, you'll put a single crochet. And you'll continue this pattern for the entire round. And at the end of your row, you'll want to slip stitch in that beginning single crochet. Then you'll begin your shell again by chaining 2 and working 4 double crochets in that same stitch. 3 and 4. And again, that beginning chain 2 counts as a stitch, so that's a total of 5 stitches. And then you'll find that center single crochet, or just 1, 2, and then the 3rd stitch single crochet. And you'll want to continue this. This is round 23. So for the next 5 rounds, rounds 23 through 27, you want to repeat those last 2 rows of round 21 and round 22, these 2 rounds here. You'll repeat this for another 5 rounds, and when you get done, I'll see you back here for round 28. Now I wanted to show you real quick. See, this is the rows of shells. This is round 21, 22. Then you have 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. So you have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows of shells. Okay, when you get done with your 7 rounds of shells, for round 28, you want to chain 1, and then you want to single crochet in that same stitch. And then you'll single crochet in the next 4 stitches. For a total of 5 stitches, you'll want to single crochet over each of your double crochets that make up your shell, your 5 double crochets. Then when you get up to your single crochet, you want to work a half double crochet in your single crochets. And then again, you'll single crochet in the next 5 stitches over your shell. And then when you come up to your single crochet again, you'll do a half double crochet worked in your single crochets. And you repeat that for the round. You're trying to flatten out your row more. And when you get to the end of your round, you want to slip stitch in the top of the single crochet. Then you'll want to change colors. Change to your color, the same color that you used for your shells here. Go ahead and attach that now to your bag. I just usually slip stitch it through the loop like I showed you before. So when you have that done, you'll want to chain 1 with your new color and single crochet in that same stitch. Then single crochet again in the next 9 stitches. So counting the first one and your 9 stitches, you'll have a total of 10 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And once you have your 10 single crochets in a row, you'll want to do a single crochet decrease, which is just going in through the next stitch, pull up a loop, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, pull through all 3 loops. And you want to continue that pattern for the remainder of your round. Single crochet in the next 10 stitches, and then do another single crochet decrease. And at the end of this round, you should have 55 stitches. So slip stitch in your beginning single crochet, chain 1. Then for rounds 27 and 28, the next 2 rows, you just want to put 1 single crochet. I'm going to go right back into that stitch I just slip stitched into. Put my first single crochet. You want to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around for the next 2 rounds. So this one and the next one, rounds 27 to 28, and you should still have 55 stitches. Okay, once you've got rounds 27 and 28 done, for 29, you're going to chain 1, single crochet in that same stitch, and you want to single crochet in the next 27 stitches. You should have 55 stitches total, so single crochet in 27 should get you in about midpoint in the middle of your bag. So for me, I need to back up a little bit just to show you. Should bring you about like to here in your bag, where you can start to make your buttonhole. So single crochet first 27 stitches, and then you want to chain 3 and then skip 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then the 4th stitch, do a single crochet. And then you want to single crochet in your remaining 25 stitches. And you just did 1 single crochet here, so you'll have 24 more stitches to end your round. So continue to single crochet all the way around, and I'll see you back here in a moment. Okay, when you get to the end of the round, you want to slip stitch in your beginning single crochet, and then now you want to change your color to your next color, your original color, the same one that you used for your shell. You want to switch back to that color, and then you'll chain 1 single crochet back into that same stitch. And you're going to do the same thing as you did last round. You're going to be single crocheting in the first 27 stitches until you reach your buttonhole again. And inside this buttonhole here, over this chain 3, you'll want to do 3 single crochets worked into that space. And then again, you'll single crochet in your remaining 25 stitches. And slip stitch in the beginning single crochet. And then for round 31, the last round of your bag, you're just going to be putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So continue to do that, and I'll show you how to make the handles of your bag. Okay, and when you get to the end of your round, you'll chain 1 and you'll cut your yarn. Cut it enough to where you can work it in with a tapestry needle. But since this is just a demo, I'm not going to cut my yarn. Okay, so this is where your 4 markers come in. What you want to do is you want to make sure that your button is as centered as you can. And you want to try to maneuver it, even if you have to maneuver it a little bit this way or this way. You want to try to, you want to have 2 stitches on the end here instead of just 1 stitch on the end like that. You want to have 2 stitches on the end, 1 and 2, because you want to try to keep this as symmetrical as you can. And you want to mark out 8 stitches total. So you'll have 1, 2, these are 2, 4, 6, 8, and you'll want to put your hook here, and then you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have 8 total here stitches. And you'll get your marker, mark that very first stitch, and then mark that second stitch. And you'll do the same thing on the other side. Of course, you won't have your yarn still attached, and you'll be able to see it. Again, maneuver it a little this way or that way, however you need, to ensure that you have your 2 stitches on the end, 1 and 2, and then you can count 2, 4, 6, 8. Which is hard for me because this is 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm just gonna say that's 8. So once you have your 8 marked out on this side, again, place your markers. Okay, so you have your 8 stitches on each side marked out. Now once you do, and since I'm not since I'm not cutting my yarn, I'm going to get my next color. And with my other bag here, I started with 1 color here. I started with my darker color just because it was different from this one. And I did a total of 27 rows. I wanted to do a total of 55 rows on my strap, but that makes it kind of a handbag. It's not something you can put over your shoulder. If you're looking more for a shoulder bag, then you want to do a total of 70 stitches, and you can just do 70 rows. 70 rows, and if you want to do it half, like I have here, half color, then you'll want to stop after the 35th row and change colors. For me, I'm doing 55 rows, so I want to stop after the 27th row and then change my color and then finish until I get to the end here. And I'll stop short 1 row. I'll stop after my 24th row, and then I'll I'll show you how to attach it on this side. But first I got to show you how to begin it before I can show you how to end it. So anyway, get the color you want to use. Let me back up just a little bit. And then you have 8 marked out on each side, so it doesn't really matter which way you start. You just need to know where to attach it on the other side, and we have it marked here, so we'll know. So you want to start by doing a single crochet attachment in the marked stitch. So you pull up a loop, but don't pull it through the loop on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2. That's your first single crochet, and then you'll want to work a single crochet over until you reach your 8th stitch where you have your marker here. So in this last stitch that's marked is your 8th stitch, and you'll put your last single crochet here. Now you have your 8 stitches. So now for a row after row until your strap's as long as you want it, you'll chain 1 and turn, and then work your 8 single crochets again on this side, and you'll keep doing that. You'll do your 8 single crochets, chain 1, and then turn and do 8 single crochets. Now that you have it marked on this side though, you can go ahead and remove your markers on this side because they're probably just going to get in your way once you have it your 8 stitches going on here. There. So you keep going row after row, 8 single crochets, chain 1, turn, 8 single crochets, chain 1, turn. Keep doing that until you reach the length desired for your strap, and then I'll show you how to connect it. Okay, once you have your strap, your 8 stitches here, crochet up all the way until you've got 55 rows. If you want to make it a longer strap where you can wear on your shoulder, then go 70 rows. And you want to end with your bag facing like this. And there's the inside of your bag here. I'm not sure if it's the same with left-handed or not. It could be better for a left-hander to have it like this, where the hole is facing you. But to attach it, you want to basically fold your strap. So hard to do this with a shorter strap. And I'm going to put my bag like this. You want it to line up this row of 8 with your stitches that you marked on this side. And yours will be much longer, so you will be able to fold it right up to match. There's one marker to the next marker. There we go. So whenever you get done, it'll be sewn on this side and you'll have your strap here. So basically, like I did, I just folded it up and over until I have it aligned this to this. One marker to the next marker. Where's my yarn here? I need to tighten up my loop. Where's my yarn? There we go. Have it fed through. That's what my problem was. Okay, so I have to let it go, get it on this side. Okay, line it up with this marker to this marker. And then I'm going to go through this stitch here that's marked on this side, go under both loops of that stitch, and then my very first stitch on my strap, and then single crochet. And you'll go through the stitch on the bag and then the stitch of your strap that you've already made, and you'll continue to do that with all 8 stitches until you reach your marker. This is the tightest way to secure your strap to your bag. And when you get all 8 stitches, you want to chain 1, cut your yarn, and you'll be working that in with a tapestry needle. And when you get done, you'll have a clean sew on this side, and then of course you started your row on this side, so you'll have this nice strap for your bag. That is it. That is how you make the scale and shell bag. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please don't forget to click the like button and share this video. And if you're a first time watcher or haven't gotten around to subscribing yet, please take a moment and do that. As always, thank you guys so much for watching.